From an aerial view, El Paso and Ciudad Juarez almost look like one conjoined city, and considering the history of the borderland, they almost could be. However, if you were to look closely, you would see that the two cities are in fact divided by the US-Mexico border. Established after the Mexican-American War and solidified after the Gadsden Purchase, this border has been the area of much controversy. Ever since the U.S. government issued the Secure Fence Act of 2006, steel fences about 18 feet tall have been built and placed in major cities all across the borderland in an effort to reduce illegal immigration and drug trafficking. Yet what impact do fences such as these have on communities such as El Paso and Ciudad Juarez, whose culture has a history of both communities intermingling both socially and economically? Does the presence of this fence actually reduce the number of illegal narcotics and immigrants? The United States' relationship with immigration has been complicated since its birth. Immigration policies used to be made with racist agendas and the economy in mind, such as the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. Fortunately, things have changed since then. Certain economic factors that have happened more recently have led to tougher immigration policies coming into practice. An example of this would be the debt and recession that the U.S. faced after the beginning of the War on Terror. In short, when the economy isn't booming, the U.S. doesn't want more people. There are an estimated 500,000 undocumented peoples crossing into the United States every year. Illegal immigrants currently make up approximately 3 to 4% of the U.S. population. From 2006, the illegal immigrant population of the United States was at 3.9%, and in 2014, it was recorded to be at 3.5%. While the population difference is small, it does infer that the fences, along with increased border security, to some extent do their job in keeping out undocumented residents. So one could come to the conclusion that the fences and increased security are not as effective as expected. The drug trade became prevalent when the United States outlawed several drugs including cocaine, marijuana, heroin, etc. The ban on drugs increased demand on American soil, increasing the value of said drugs. Drug trafficking has become a huge business in Mexico, with several drug cartels coming to power and shipping drugs into the United States. Marijuana is the most popular drug smuggled, accounting for nearly 90% of drug seizures at the border. Over 120,000 drug seizures were made from early 2005 to late 2011 all across the border. However, this is a rather small amount compared to the over 1.5 million drug arrests made in 2007 alone, with arrests increasing yearly for possession of marijuana. Thus, it can be concluded that drugs are still making their way into the country despite the increased security at the border. The city of El Paso and Ciudad Juarez have both been affected greatly by the increase in border security and the construction of the giant fence. Crossing between the two cities at one time was quite easy, with fewer restrictions to people coming across the border. Americans would cross into Juarez to partake in activity that would otherwise be illegal back home, and Mexicans would cross to work for more money. This way of life led to strong ties between both communities. It led to economic growth, and people had family and friends on both sides of the border. However, growth would not last, as Mexico's industries and economy would fall behind, and the introduction of NAFTA would make it harder to make money. Along with the new fence in 2006, the conjoined communities were divided economically and physically. Due to the poor economic situation in Mexico, many residents of Juarez cross the border every day to go to school or work in El Paso. They get up as early as 5 o'clock in the morning to get across the border in time where they need to go, then afterwards go back into Juarez. For others throughout the rest of Mexico, they try to make the dangerous journey into the United States to find opportunities. If they are caught, they are sent back across the border. If the new border security and immigrant policy doesn't stop illegal immigration and illegal narcotics, what will? It seems that it could be simply putting trust into people. The city of El Paso is a prime example of that trust. Even if Juarez were in a dangerous state, El Paso would still be more open-minded in letting people cross the border, and its community more accepting of that idea. The idea of trust is a nice thought. However, with the current state of fear that the United States is in, it's unlikely that the border will open up to reunite El Paso and Juarez anytime soon.